everyone, it's Liz Simons, and I am here with Laura Shapanus, writer, star, and producer of the movie Acceptance, which will be screening today at the Golden Door International Film Festival. Hey, Laura.
Hi, so nice to meet you, Liz.
You too. I'm so excited. So tell me about this film. It's the story of a mother discovering that her 9-year-old has Asperger's, and it's based on a true story. Can you tell what was your inspiration for this film?
Absolutely. This is based on my story. My son, his name is Jake, and he has Asperger's, and he was diagnosed at 7. So the story is a drama, so it's scripted, and it takes place when the mom first finds out from the therapist that her son has Asperger's. And then I take the viewers through the 7 stages of grief that she goes through, that I went through as a mom dealing with this very difficult subject. You know, no parent wants to hear the A word. And Asperger's syndrome is part of it's an autism spectrum disorder.
Right.
It's very high functioning autism, but again, hearing that word, it changes your entire life. So we start with the first stage of grief, which is shock.
It's gonna be fine. We've been dealing with this his whole life. Now we know just what we're dealing with.
It's something that affects so many people, especially here in the state of New Jersey, but 1 in 88 children will be diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. And
so what's great, the Golden Door Film Festival right now, they're focusing this year on autism. Was that just made being included that much more special for you?
What's really special for me is that I was invited to show my film.
Right.
So I met one of the board members at another film festival, and she actually reached out to me and said, "We would love to show your film," which was amazing. And this is the first film festival that I know of that is highlighting autism awareness, and I think it's fabulous and it's amazing. And as a filmmaker, to have someone ask for your film is just a dream come true. You know, but my film brings a message of hope.
Right.
And acceptance is ongoing. It's not a destination. It's not like, oh, I've accepted it, I'm good. I have moments where I still like, oh my God, he has Asperger's.
Right.
And I just hope to bring that message of hope to a lot of families out there who are just hearing about the diagnosis for the first time, that it's still your child.
Right.
You know, and as a filmmaker, bringing hope to other women filmmakers, that if you have a story to tell, just tell it. Right,
absolutely. And speaking of which, so how has that been, becoming sort of your own boss? You've been acting for 20 years, you've been in the business, but was this your first project that you created entirely from scratch? How has that experience been?
You know, when I was acting in the theater, I did a lot of off Broadway, and I had written plays many years ago. And then as, getting older and being a mom and having a very busy schedule, I've been to some film festivals and then seen some shorts, and the idea, everything starts with an idea.
Right.
And I saw some shorts and thought, I think I could do that. I think I could write a short film. And then that kind of, marinated in my brain for years.
Right.
Until this moment where I felt like I needed to do this now. It needed to happen now. And I just started to write the story. Wanted it to be a story that was something that happened behind closed doors that most people would not know about. And they wouldn't normally get a peek into that world. And I found that this story resonates with people because I have people coming up to me saying, who do know me and saw it, saying, I have no idea.
Right.
And of course they have no idea. So telling the story, it was about me trying to tell something that has meaning.
Right.
Writing something that will make people feel something.
Right, and it's a personal story, so you can speak from the heart, and I think it is good because so many things with children with autism people don't know, and you can't tell by looking to someone and at someone, and with a parent, I imagine it's a huge struggle, and to let people know that they're not alone, and to give a support system. And have you met a lot of parents with children with autism and Asperger's through this that have been coming up to you and thanking you, and how's that experience been?
That's the first thing I did when I first found out about my son's diagnosis was I reached out to a parent that I knew was going through the same thing, another mom. That meant so much to me to have that person to connect with. Because, being outside on the playground and seeing these moms with their typical children, and that wasn't my life. So that is so huge and important to me. And every time I show this film, I have people come up to me, whether it's other moms or grandparents or my nephew or everyone has someone in their life or knows somebody that's affected by autism.
No, that's great. I mean, I think that it's the important thing is giving voice, giving hope. I have nieces and nephews now coming up, and it is nice, and they're so special, and I always think if something ever, you don't know what can happen, and it's always nice to know that there's a support system.
Absolutely.
No,
I mean, I had no, going through my pregnancy, I had actually had an amnio, and there's no test.
Right.
And I'm grateful for that, because I wouldn't change anything about myself.
Right.
I wouldn't change one thing about him. It's been difficult, and he's doing really, really well now because we've gotten early intervention. It's so much help for him.
Right.
But he, again, going back to the title of my movie, Acceptance, that's who he is, and he's okay with it.
Yeah.
And one of the messages I'd like to get out there for people, too, is about, when we go out in the supermarket and we see a kid what we think is misbehaving,
right.
It might be a child with autism. If you meet an adult who's really quirky and think that they're just weird, well, that person might have autism, and so to just have some compassion.
No, and that is what it's all about, to have some compassion. So this film, you screened it at a bunch of festivals. So what's next for the film, and for your projects? What do you want to do next?
My hope is that I would love to take the short film and make it into a feature.
Oh, that's great.
Because I believe that it's a story that is worth telling. And in a longer form. I've had people come up to me after screenings and saying, I wanted more. I wanted to know more. So, you know how that goes. I mean, I made this film with zero budget.
Right.
So that's not going to happen for a feature.
And so through showing it at festivals, you can get more interest and then hopefully meet someone that says, I'm going to give you $10 million.
Yes,
right. Anyone, if you got $10 million, contact, or more. She'll take more. Or less. Yeah, anything. Just as a woman filmmaker, do you feel, where have you gotten your inspiration from, and what would you advise other women filmmakers?
To connect with each other.
Okay.
I think we need to connect with each other. I think we need to write more. I think we need to not be afraid to tell our story. And I think it's, some advice I wish I had myself was to read a little bit, to read screenwriting books, but don't be afraid.
Right.
Sometimes that can hold us back. Just do it.
Right.
Whatever happens. The dream was to get it done.
Right.
And I had no idea that the dream would take me here. It's been amazing. This is beyond my wildest expectations.
Well, I think that's amazing. So thank you so much, Laura. It's been great talking to you about your film, Acceptance. So, everyone, Laura Shapanus, writer, star, and producer of Acceptance.
And if people could like my Facebook page, Acceptance the Movie on Facebook, that would be awesome.
So, Laura, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Liz.
You've been watching a HerFlix moment.